Hey, my fam, people, I have missed you. So excited to be going on live with Ernest Makulilo. People, let somebody who wants to succeed in 2021 know that I am live. And we're about to have an interview. I know this is going to be strange because it's Ernest Makulilo who's interviewing me, but we're coming on my platform. He is coming on and he is always so cutthroat, so direct about things. I know we're going to have one of the most amazing conversations, and you will have takeouts that will make a difference for the rest of your life. So let a friend, a sister, a brother, an uncle, auntie, somebody you know really wants to succeed in 2021 know that we're going to be on live with Ernest Makulilo to talk about how to level up for success. Kathy, I see you. How I love the fact that you keep showing up. You must have this thing. You must have notifications on for when we're live because you keep showing up. Thank you so much for your support. Welcome. So we're waiting for Ernest Makulilo to come on. I'm going to get it. Well, I was going to say I'm going to get on my phone, but this is my phone to wait for him to come on the feed. So let me see if I can tag him. Look for him. One sec. He'll have to come on for me to see that. Ernest. I'm putting his name on here. See if it'll do anything. Waiting for him to come on live. Let me check on him real quick. All right, he's on. He was just checking on me on WhatsApp, but we'll get this show on the road. Let another person know that we're talking about how to level up in success. Ernest Makulilo will be on any second now, and we'll get this show on the road. All right. Nice. All right, Ernest Makulilo will be here at any second. I have this question. Let me post this question and let me pin it. Why do we go to experts? That's the question I want to put on there. Is there a way for me to pin this question? Yes. Why do we go to experts? Nice. You're on already. I am going to get you. Why can't I get you to join? Is there a way for you to request? Hey, Ono, welcome. Hi, Aggie, welcome. I want you guys to answer this question while we're getting Ernest on. Why do we go to experts? Why do we do that? Why do we choose to go to experts? Answer that in the comments, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. For the life of me, Ernest, I do not know why you're not coming on. So if you can, please request an invitation, and I will zoom you up. Nice. You're having difficulties joining? Today is not the day. Today is not the day. I need this thing to work today. I've missed you guys. I've been a little social media prisoner because my team won't let me come on as often as I used to before. Yani in Swahili we say nilikuwa nina usongo wa kushow up today. So Ernest, this thing has to work for us. All right. Let me do this again. Why do we go to experts, guys? There's no crazy answer to it. Just let me see if I can get anybody else on. Yeah, like other people can come on, it seems. So why not you? Like even right now, just Isaias or something. I almost got you to join us. Makulilo, there's something happening. Why I can't pull you, but I can pull almost anybody else who's on here. I can pull Ono, I can pull, Isaias on. Why aren't you? You need to upgrade your app. What? Snap! You need to upgrade your app for you to be able to come on. So if you can just right now upgrade your app, and I'm going to address this thing of why we keep going to experts. Hello, Victoria, Tanzania. Welcome. Aggie, I don't know if I'm going to get this right. Aggie KE123, welcome. Asias_MK, welcome to this live session on how to level up for success. Yes, EBM, that's what it says. Really, you need to go and upgrade your app so that you can join us. That's exactly what he said on my end. Ladies Junction Forum, welcome. Thank you so much, by the way, for joining us on P31 Woman. People are like, what's that? It's a whole other thing that I do, and I have followed you right back. You're so welcome. All right, so I've pinned this question. Why do we go to experts? If you can just give me comments, on the comment section. Why do you think we go to experts? Because we're going to talk about what it takes for you to deliver expert level results in your own life, right? We're talking about leveling up. It means you have done things a certain way where you're at, that's giving you certain results, but you would like different results. You'd like to get to the next level of what you're doing. And today we're talking about what it takes to level up, to see success in what you're doing. And I'd like you to start this whole conversation by answering this question. Why do we go to experts? Why do you go to a professional? Why do you go pay money to get somebody to help you with something? Whether that's your dry cleaning, whether that is your event management, whether that is, financial advisor. Why do we go to experts? Why do we go to somebody else? And maybe sometimes we don't pay, but why do we refer? Why do we have that friend that we know we can turn to for certain issues? Why do you go to them? Why don't you try to figure out yourself? I'd like you to answer that in the comments while Ernest gets himself ready. Nadia Lattimore, welcome. Hello, he's updated. He is here. We can go live. We can go live. This is good. Yes? Yay!
I update my app. I think that was the problem.
Wasn't that crazy though? Like these things, they detect everything.
Yeah, so I'm sorry for that.
That's okay. So I've had people, I've been asking this question, why do we go to experts? But I'll get to why I asked that question in a minute. But as you come in, you're going to see that question. Answer that question in the comments and I'll read your comments. I know this is not me interviewing, you're interviewing me. So I'm going to keep quiet now and allow you to take over and do your thing. Just be kind, be nice. We all know what you're like.
It's going to be easy, normal, friendly conversation.
I pray so. Otherwise, I'll pretend I have technical issues and I'll just leave.
Yeah. So I don't know if, though I'm the host, I'm in your channel, so I have to introduce myself for those.
Please.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So my name is Ernest Boniface Makulilo, and I usually go by EBM. I live here in the great state of Missouri, in the United States of America, but I'm originally from Tanzania. I've been here for 12.5 years. I work with a non-profit for how I get surviving here in America, but on my spare time, I do a lot of things. Number one, I'm book writer, author. I've been able to write 11 books so far in the journey of writing 100 books.
Amazing.
Also, I'm doing some YouTube videos on immigration support, scholarship opportunities for people, but also to guide people on how to be able, why should they write the books and how to write and self-publish them to put them on Amazon. And overall, how to be able to succeed in life and to be nice and how you can be able to leave a legacy on this planet Earth. So that's this with me.
And he did mention that he's one of my mentors. He decided, no, it's no, don't even pretend there's anything of value I bring to your life, please. It's fine. I know I bring value to other people, but with you, he's been mentoring me for a very long time, both on book, writing, publishing, he has this phenomenal YouTube channel that is just taking off like a mushroom. So he's been teaching me how to get, you guys know I also YouTube, how to get that off the ground. But just, I don't know how, like, God made this happen. Ernest has taken it unto himself to help me become successful. Like, no strings attached. We met virtually, and he's so invested in that. And I'm very grateful. So he hasn't mentioned that bit because he's humble like that. But I want to mention that this is one gentleman who really has made a difference to my transition. And I think we're going to talk a little bit about my transition to where I am right now, from being a group managing director of a group of 5 businesses to a stay-at-home mom with 2 kids to now again, running a group of businesses. You help me see the light in between. So let's get the show on the road. Okay. I'm ready for the questions.
The first thing you have been talking about mentorship.
Okay.
So why should people go to the expert? But I can start with a question to you. Why should we need to have mentors in our life?
Okay. All right. So I'm going to answer this in the context of this whole thing of leveling up for success. Now, I remember reading this book. I don't know if you've read it. It's called Outliers. Now, all the books I'm going to mention today, and I think I might just mention books, they're on Modesta.Africa. So in case you're interested, I have all the books that have changed my life and continue to change my life on there. Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. He said that it takes 10,000 hours to perfect a craft, right? So whatever it is you want to be really, really good at, and this kind of answers the question. Thank you, Aggie KE123, for answering that. We want we want fast results. They have extra skill set. They're rare, right? She says this is why we go to them, kind of like the mentorship piece. He said it takes 10,000 hours to master an area. When you calculate that, that's 3 hours a day for 3,333 days. That's just a little over 9 years. So who here is trying to invest 9 years for absolutely everything they need? I'm not going to spend 9 years trying to know about my, laundry. I'm not going to spend 9 years trying to know about different things. So we go to other people that have made the investment in the time, in the energy, in the struggle to perfect an area so that we can shorten our learning curve. So that's why I would go to a mentor. That's why, I remain connected with you. I don't want to figure, first of all, I don't want to know the technical things about any of this, book publishing, YouTubing. I don't want to know. I just want to show up, make up, speak, right? So you're helping shorten my learning curve. Instead of going through everything that you went through, you can't stay with me for 15 minutes, half an hour, and I can leapfrog into my progress. That is why it is so key. And the thing about a mentor that you may not necessarily get, even if you chose to invest the time to learn certain things yourself, is experience. You cannot, there's no amount of textbooks and courses, even coaching, by the way. This is why coaches can also make good mentors. No amount of that can help you with what happens when no textbook can answer. How you make a decision as a human being through emotional intelligence. How they once made a decision which cost them everything and how they were able to turn around from that. So it is absolutely critical not only to have one, to have several mentors for the areas you want to grow in, because even if you could, how many sets of 9 years will you invest to learn an area? It is better to go through or to step on the shoulders of those that have gone before you, and you're able to go further ahead because of that.
That is a very good point you've raised on that. The reason I started with that question, because we usually have a big problem, and especially for us coming from developing countries, of respecting profession of others.
Of what?
Not respecting or giving.
Yeah. You're bringing me out, Ernest. Anything could happen, because I get that a lot. So bring that question, please.
So that is number one problem. And usually I say, when you need to succeed, you must meet or get advice from the people who have the knowledge, experience, and the goodwill. Good intention for you to be able to succeed.
Yeah.
And not just because my mother is my mother, I can ask my mother advice of going to do PhD. She cannot help me that. Yes, she helps me, but she doesn't have that expertise. So that is making the point when we are coming now. It is still the beginning of the new year. So we say Happy New Year. But one thing people do in the beginning of the year is New Year's resolution.
Yes.
And we come up with so many goals.
Yeah.
And most of the goals, majority of people fail to accomplish them. In my opinion, number one reason why we fail to have this kind of succeeding in our goals is when we have these goals, we haven't been advising, talking to our mentors before, like, this is what I'm going to work on next year. So what do you advise for people if they want to work a smart goals for next year? Not just because you have two Guinness, you just wake up, This year, I'm going to America. This year,
Yeah.
I'm going
Yeah.
to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
What am I going to do to have a conversation with someone who can challenge you so that you can go to the next step of having goals and accountability?
So good. So on that, now, again, with the whole idea of shortening your learning curve, right? Either be ready to invest 9+ years to master a thing, or find somebody. And I love the fact that you brought goodwill, somebody that has the knowledge, the skills, the experience, the right attitude towards, mentorship and goodwill, that they would actually want to invest in you. And what is so key is then mentors come in as a mirror, right? So they're showing you, is this what you're saying? This is what you say you want to do. And they will tell you as it is, like Makulilo just calls out all my stuff. And he even goes and shows me the analytics. Like, this is how you're rating, this is how you're doing, because he wants to help. It is so key. I've had 2 incidences lately where clients it seemed very ambitious what they wanted to do, because I do career coaching, leadership coaching, etc. So this person is in a senior leadership role. They would like to now get into a regional leadership role over Africa or outside the continent, but overseeing African issues, right? Policy issues. And their roles that they had been thinking, so 2 people, roles they had been thinking about that seemed to be way over their head. So the first thing is, great to have vision, great to have ambition, great to have goals. That is so key. But when you're setting, as you said, smart goals, that they're specific, they're measurable, they're achievable. Achievable is a gray area, because some people will say, well, for instance, I would tell you, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. That is so, but you also need to know what Christ wired you for. Right? I'm not just going to do anything simply because I know that scripture is available to me. So somebody will help you to say, okay, it's great that is where you're aspiring to go. Kind of like today, the video that I posted today was about how to fast track your promotion. But you will notice that it really starts with where you are right now. Just because you have a vision to get somewhere doesn't mean that should be your first goal. Like you mentioned, to be a billionaire. You can be a billionaire, and by all means, kudos to you that you would even dare want to be a billionaire. Please be, right? But coming back now, what would it take to get there? You might find that what you thought would be your 2021 goals, you're going to break them down, and you're going to have the first step to getting there as your 2021 goals, as you're building towards that. One of the things that I have learned in my career, and I have not spoken much about it, I have YouTube videos about it, but not in so much detail, is about failure. And the fact that I tasted success and I grew too fast for what I was able to handle. Both in terms of access to really high profile, high net worth people, and not really having the wisdom and the understanding to steward that level of relationships. Guys, I'm giving you stuff for free at that level. But also, I was able to earn wealth. I didn't know what I was doing. I did not know, and I didn't have the wisdom, nor at that time did I consult. And I had mentors, but I had to consult them on how to invest. So one of the things that I invested in is, for instance, we had, I think, state-of-the-art, probably incomparable offices and equipment, in my city at the time. But that was probably not the best investment, and whatever training and whatever my people needed, we invested in all of that. I could have done that differently. So imagine what mentorship would have done. I have access to the top business people on the continent and outside, have access to top government people. And I'm talking about presidents on the continent and outside, right? I'm generating hundreds of thousands of dollars, and not really sure now as an entrepreneur managing 5 businesses. That's another thing that was like I was really spread out. If I had somebody to, and I remember Ali Mufuruki tried, he said, you need to stop all of this, focus on the one area that you are known for. You can be known for by name, you, Modesta. Focus on that, distinguish yourself. Maybe you choose, and you were saying, because I'm a lawyer and I was an advocate of the high court, choose to do that and be the most renowned in East Africa. Go with that. And from that, because I remember he joked with me, and it was a joke. He said, Amali Mufuruki, that name means something anywhere. Who are you? You're like those pyramid, what pyramid here? Where is that? The fathers. he said you're a charity case and you're holding placards for a cause about youth and everything, but you yourself haven't stood. That is the benefit of a mentor when you're about to set goals, when you're about to go for a vision. They will tell it as it is, they will give you context, and they will say your dreams are valid. However, the reality is your knowledge, your skills, your experience, even your attitude. I will be the first one to say I've had such attitude issues that it took a lot of challenges. It took a lot of looking around and saying, wait a second, this is me. This is not people around me, to get the maturity to handle certain things. You know, so I really believe it is invaluable. It is so key to get a mentor. It shortens a lot. And I would say whether you're going to pay to access that mentor, or if you're going to get a coach, although a coach, you know, a coach will support you on very specific deliverables. They're not going to walk in life with you like mentors would, right? But it is so key to get them. There is no other way around it, unless if you want to level up in your success, you are ready to invest 3 hours a day for 3,333 days, which is a little more than 9 years to master your craft. Who has the time for that?
No one.
So that's what I gotta say.
That's very good. Related to that, there are some people, they have the goals, they get a mentor or someone, a coach, to help them, guide them. But in the end, they're just like me, from someone from Kigoma, known as to be resistant of so many things. The personal accountability, accepting the challenge and accepting the critique. That hey, you want to become an author, you want to become a manager, you want to do business, you want to become a civil servant. So all these are good things, as you said, but focus on at least choose two and forget about this one for this time because of this particular environment. How can people first of all, take the negative feedback? That's number one. Instead of just following someone who can say, just advise you or guide you on things which, because you want something, I'll just give advice on that one. But two, how can someone have a continued personal accountability? Because when you are at the college, if you don't submit your assignment, you get poor grades. Primary school, secondary school, they give you stick. But in the real life, no one is going to stick you because you didn't do something. How are you going to keep motivated yourself and continue to have your goals despite that no one, even your mentor, cannot just come and say, wake up today. Cannot do that. How are you going to do on your personal accountability on that?
So good. Such a good question. So the first one on how to take feedback, right?
Yes.
So here's the thing. One of the things that I have come to learn and to practice, sometimes it's painful, is humility. Doesn't always taste good, but to entertain the fact that could it be that I don't know everything there is to know about this area? And of course it is so. No one knows everything about everything, right? And then something else that I have learned is, listen, I have asked for feedback. Unless I just wanted somebody to tell me what I want to hear to make myself feel good, which is just silliness now, that's immature. But if I truly went to a person with the intent of growing in my area, right, with the intent of getting the kind of input that will help me level up to to where I want to be successful, then be open to receive that. But I always say this, you must know yourself. My goodness, people, I don't know how else to say this. Spend time with yourselves, please, away from devices, just quietly thinking through what your strengths are, thinking through areas that you may have weaknesses. Weaknesses does not mean you're a sinner who's going to hell. It just means that there are areas that you can probably match with other people that have greater strengths. Like you compliment me in so many areas I'm not strong. You help me leapfrog my results. You have spoken to my colleague. She helps me move faster because I'm not getting bogged down in the admin day to day. Now, it's not a sin. It's not a dirty word to say that I am not strong in these areas. But you need to know that before that. And then you need to know where you want to go and why. It really helps you with getting feedback, because at the end of the day, it's not about the details of today. It's the fact that I want to get somewhere and I've asked for input. But why I mentioned that you need to know yourself well is that some people are psycho. You're going to go to some people who are just jealous because you're trying to dare something that they wouldn't. There's some legit psychos out there. I don't know why. Like, I don't know why somebody would put somebody else down on a possibility simply because they tried, it didn't happen. Or maybe they also had the same thought and now somebody else is going to do it.
In Swahili, we call kamati ya roho mbaya. There is no translation for that for English.
Kamati ya one. So when you know yourself, right, and you're receiving something, even when it's negative, you can tell that it's coming from a good heart or it's not. But also, if somebody calls your strengths a weakness, then you know, you don't even need to argue. You know, like they're just coming up with this stuff because you know that is your strength. But somebody calls out a weakness of yours and you in your chamber alone know it's a weakness, why fight them? Like, you're being silly. What are you trying to do to defend who's on or where? Because by getting that feedback, it'll really help you build. So if you do not like the feedback you're getting, you requested it. Be gracious. Say thank you. Right? Don't say, thank you, I'm going to go think about it. I don't know. Because I've had people say that. I don't know, I'm going to pray over it and see. Because if the Holy Spirit tells me that's also a problem, then maybe it is a problem. I'm like, God bless you. Right? Take that feedback. If you think it came out of spite, no need to make a show of it. Move on. But where you can go back and reflect and you see, something is true, or even right there, you can ask, can you give me an example, please? Or let's say maybe they don't have much experience with you, but they're giving you feedback that they don't think that, when I said, maybe that's your vision, that's great, but that's not where you should start, right? That's not what you should aim right now. You can ask, why do you think that? And you can have a conversation about that until it gets down to details about facts. It's not personal opinion. It's not an attack. They're talking about facts based on their experience, based on their skills. So the facts are, you are at this place. You have been able to handle $50,000. You're about to apply for $5 million grant to do XYZ. And you tell me that you don't have, a finance, a procurement, a grant, whatever, management, I think you're going, this thing is going to, it's going to overwhelm you. So they're getting down to facts. And then you can come back. This is how you handle, constructive feedback. You can come back and ask, so they've given you details of why, and then ask for details. So what would it take for me to improve so that I can then get to that? Because no never means never, nor does feedback that you're not at a place to do something now mean that you will never in life do that thing. So let's approach it I love making references to doctors. Doctors will come in, it's very clinical, nothing personal. Anybody ever fight a doctor? I don't know what to say to you. They come in, you come there crying with your what, they tell you sit at the table, they snap on their gloves. These days they have the mask on, whatever, they check you out. They're like, it looks like we're dealing with this, that, and the other. Yeah. They're being neutral. This is what I'm seeing. This is the fact. Oh no, how could you say that? Something. You came to me, the doctor.
Yeah.
Right? All right, we'll do further tests. They do further tests. It confirms it is XYZ. All right. Now you don't get mad. You don't fight them. You don't walk away. You ask, okay, so what do I do? How does? And you apply what they say, and you get the outcomes you seek. Do that with feedback about anything in life. Nobody's trying to bring you down, unless they are trying to bring you down. They actually generally have goodwill and want to help you. But I'm telling you, you will be a work in progress for the rest of your life. We all are. This is what I will tell people. I have to grow into the Modesta I need to be to achieve the vision that I know God has given me. The Modesta you're speaking to today, Ernest, is not even that Modesta yet. I know who I'm meant to be for the things. I don't even know where to start being that woman. But I'm several steps from that woman, and what I have now is what I'm growing to steward well, so that I can, based on these principles, grow to the next level like that. So understand and embrace the fact that, I was going to say, that you're not, you're not done, that there is still growing to do. Embrace it clinically, remove the emotion, and be very sanitary about it, and ask the questions you will need. Ask questions. Oh, why do you say that? Can you give me a specific example of why you think that? And then can you give me specific things that you recommend that I would do? Even if they're referring you to somebody else or to resources, but at least you left with specifics. A doctor never gives you vague things. They don't say, go take medicine. They will tell you this medicine, this many milligrams for this long, and, and do this, avoid that. Ask those questions to help yourself grow. But when you go in, understanding who you are, where you want to go, why you want to go there, and being open to getting the feedback, as in, take feedback like the ammunition, like the resources, like the energy, what will pump you to then improve yourself to get there. Take it as rocket fuel. Feedback is your rocket fuel. It's not there to push you down. So that was my very long-winded answer to the first question. The second aspect of the question was?
The second part is now how are you going to create your personal accountability? Because no one is going to seek to beat you because you didn't do assignment. Now I want you to go and do exercise to lose weight. No one is going to, is my responsibility.
Yeah.
How are you going to put yourself on course of your goals and objectives?
So good. So yeah, this one, if truth be told, 99% of us who don't achieve what we set out to do in life is a question of personal accountability. 99% of the human race don't achieve what they want to is a question of personal accountability. So first thing is to ask yourself, so that we're not wasting time, am I doing what I know is the thing that I should be doing right now? Just so that we don't waste it, because when you're trying to hold yourself accountable to things you hate doing or you're not good at doing, you're already setting yourself up for failure. So you need to know already. I was actually writing this down because I was thinking, I wrote honesty. I was writing my answers to some of the things that I wanted, on our theme is honesty. So I have number one, am I doing the thing that, that I feel is the area should be in? If you say yes, then ask yourself, am I getting the results that I know I should be getting? Right? If not, then what do I need to do to get there? So that the only way you can hold yourself accountable is when you have something specific as an indicator that you can measure progress against. So what is holding myself accountable look like? If I get very specific that this is something that I know I need to do, and this is what I need to be able to deliver results, then I can hold myself accountable whether I've done it or not. And if, I also say, this is how many times I need to do it, this is the level at which I need to do it, then I can hold myself accountable to that. So first of all, clarity is the number one piece to you holding yourself accountable. If you're not clear as to whether you are the right person at the right place doing the right thing for the right motivations, you're not going to hold yourself accountable when everything inside you is screaming that you don't want to be here. If you're at a job you hate, you're working with a boss you hate, if you're doing business and all the money is going to pay for everything and you never see money out of it, you're probably not going to be the most motivated person. The other thing is to ask yourself, do I actually have the knowledge? Do I have the skills? Do I have the right attitude towards this? When I found out, each time I found out, and I found out many times, each time I found out on my team, I am not the person to do a certain thing, I immediately found the person to do that thing. I cannot hold myself, Modesta, I cannot hold myself accountable to things that I don't have the capacity for. That would just be painful. One of the things when we're leveling up, and I'll say this both for people that are employed and for people that have their own businesses, is when it's time to admit I need help. That is number one to holding yourself accountable. I need help. I will sabotage. I will make everything go down if the success of this thing is up to me. It's not to say you cannot manage something successfully. You can, but you don't have to do everything. Just because Modesta Africa is mine does not mean I am doing everything on Modesta Africa. There are 5 of us doing things on Modesta Africa. I'm not the only one there, and everybody has their own roles. So it's key to know, what can I do? If I can't, ask for help. What else did I have here? And another thing is then to govern your 24 hours, like steward yourself towards success. When do you sleep? When do you wake up? What do you do with your time? So I wake up at a certain amount, at a certain time because I must pray, for instance. Okay, you're praying, other people meditate, and other people, I don't know, they read a book or something. So I must pray for me to be effective. Like I must hear from God. I must still myself for the day. Somebody else would say the day before I write out my plan for the next day so that I can stick to my plan for the next day. Somebody else would say, I know when I start my day with calls, like that ends my day. So I start my day with the hard things that I need to do to get them out of the way. Look at how you are stewarding, how you're governing, how you're managing yourself to make sure that you can be accountable. One of the ways that I recommend people to like really strengthen their personal accountability is when they must hand in something or do something by another person. So because I have to show up for you, then I'm going to hold myself accountable to everything else I need to do so that I can show up for you. I had some things written here. Relationships. So we need to get rid of a lot of relationships. Let me just be, I'm 40 years old at this point. I really don't care. You guys like me, you don't like me. We have a lot of wasting relationships. Whether they waste time, they waste money, they waste energy, they waste your mind. Because I don't know about you, but I stay with things. I don't have just the appointment. Let's say it's a 1-hour conversation. I stay with things in my heart, in my mind. I have open folders in my head, open files all the time. So you want to surround yourself with relationships that help you grow personally, that help you grow spiritually, financially. If they're not doing that, we need to remove some relationships. Even I have friends from kindergarten to today, they're my friends. But not every person comes along. I have family members I like, I love them. I was going to say I love them and I would die for them. But I'm not going to hang out with them. This is family. Like I need to have dosages of certain things because I'm somebody going somewhere and I need to create a specific environment around myself. Sometimes the accountability isn't whether or not we're personally disciplined. It's all the distractions we allow to cloud our agendas, our time, that take us away from what's important. I'm going to say this last point and then you can continue the conversation. I recently spoke to somebody, a client who loves helping a lot. Actually, I've had like 3 people who are involved in absolutely everything with everybody. And in this coaching, because I also do spiritual coaching, I do a lot of things, guys, but that's another program for another organization. And I said, okay, so we're talking about purpose. We're talking about living your vision and the purpose you came on the earth to fulfill. When God asks you, so where's the fruit of what I asked you to do on earth? What are you going to say? I was helping so-and-so, but didn't you see that so-and-so needed help with her project and her purpose and the other person? How are you going to be answerable to everybody else except the one thing that you were given to do? So it's good, yes, to help each other, but what is it that you are about? Who are you? Where are you going? On what terms do you want to get there? To make sure that even as you're doing life with others, that you never lose sight of what you've been given to do. Jesus Christ, many times people will call him like, oh, I'm not called to those people. Jesus said this in the Bible. I'm not called to them. Somebody, can you help me? I can't help you. You're not the people. I'm only called to the Israel. And he was. but he prepared people who were called to the rest of the world. But he didn't travel to the rest of the world. He's stuck at a certain geographic location with certain people because those were the terms of reference of his purpose. That helps us with personal accountability.
Yeah, those are very, very great inputs. I have follow-up questions on
Yes,
those.
sir. Yes, sir.
Number one, related to that, I wanted to add, especially in the digital age now, we don't have friends like physical friends most of the time. Some WhatsApp groups, we have Instagram, Facebook, and everything.
Yeah.
Should the people use social media on their own advantage, and how to avoid social media to be distraction? That's
so good.
Question. Yeah, because many people, sometimes some people they are in the other groups, they fail to say no to be in the group, but the group they are talking is Simba and the Al Hilal today. All the groups they're talking the same thing, like 5 hours. Like, okay, why are you in those groups? Like, how is becoming distraction to so many people, and some people they cannot handle. They can lose their track because of other people's goals and dreams and achievement they see on Facebook or on social media in general, and they think that they have lost or they are losers because they measure based on someone's lifestyle and their blueprint.
Yeah. Wow, this is so good. So number one, you need to know who you are and where you're going in life, right? Absolutely everything around me and everyone, not to say I'm manipulative or using people, but God brings these things along to help me fulfill my purpose. But he works things in such a way, even as relationships and tools and platforms and resources come to help me fulfill mine, by engaging with other people in a spirit of partnership and unity and love, I'm also helping them. It's never one way. You know, if truly your heart is to make a difference and to be the difference, it's never one way. You shouldn't be in a relationship that drains you. Like, you start feeling drained, there's something sick with that relationship and you need to get out. Even when you're the taker, get out of that, because that's not fair on the other person. This is what I would say about social media. You need to know why you're in it, because if you don't, hey, people, never leave a vacuum. If there's anything I have said, just remember, never leave a vacuum. Never leave a vacuum. Remember that sentence. Never leave a vacuum, because if you do not know, if you do not have clarity on what it is you are about and where you want to go, the most dominant agenda in that room, on that WhatsApp group, on that social media, the most dominant voice will take over and set the agenda of what is going on with everybody. You need to know why, even if this thing exists for the purpose of we're putting money together to go where, hey, we are gathered here for the purpose. That's nice. There is a general purpose, right? For a thing. Sometimes there is a general purpose. You wake up and you've been put in a group and you're like, why am I here? I'm out. But sometimes it says specifically, we're the who doing this and we're going here. So you know the general purpose, right? But then you check it against yours. Okay, nice. I see what they're about. But what is my agenda for being here?
Exactly.
How does this align with me, who I am, and where I'm going? So when you find that there is indeed alignment of who you are and where you're going, what you've been called to, and what they're doing, okay, then you then dictate, given your time, given your energy. You know, I know my time, my energy, my patience, my will. I know myself, so I will take doses of things and I will retract. I'm like a strange introvert extrovert type of person. I want to show up. What's the purpose of me showing up? Do what I need to do, and I exit. But that's after you find that there is alignment. Otherwise, we're sitting there scrolling through people's lives. People are living their lives rather than creating your own thing that other people can scroll through. Otherwise, we're in these groups. And for somebody else, I remember I had 2 clients last year, the year before. They were involved in everything. They said, just in case something bad, like somebody dies in their family, and if they're not engaged, then nobody will come to their funeral. I was like, what? You're killing family members right now, theoretically, hypothetically killing people in your family,
And this is the reason why you're staying in these groups that are wasting your time, just so that you can be seen and you can be part of something, you know? So we have very crazy rationale for why we do what we do. So decide what's key. What group must you absolutely be in? Otherwise, get your information another way. But we cannot be part of everything. What is other people's agenda for being in your, for instance, who is on my, you know, my social media feed? I need to make sure that when I show up and I scroll aimlessly, I do scroll aimlessly, I must confess. When I do scroll aimlessly, that I am seeing things that add value, because you know your subconscious takes on a whole lot more than you realize. That I am seeing things that either grow me personally, spiritually, you know, financially, in my business. I'm seeing things like that. Anything. I remember there's a person who is amazing. I think she's an African who became American, and she's got this huge, but there was just something about the attitude and the vibe about her. I'm like, I'm so looking up to this woman as a picture of success, but there is something about her spirit. I'm not talking about spiritual things. I just mean her attitude, you know, about creating wealth and who she is and how everybody else compares to her. I unfollowed. Very famous, really great person. Sorry, great business person. But I just felt like that's not the type of influence I want. And we have to be conscious of that. So go there with the intent, with first of all, be intentional about anything you're going to. Never leave a vacuum. I am intentionally connected with these people because we're achieving this thing together. And when I am in, I am going to do this and not this. You know, and make sure that when you go there, that you do that thing, you remove yourself. When you're on social media, for instance, please use social media to level up. Use social media to, social media is like free CVs, free job interviews, free proposals and pitch sessions. That's what social media does. People can get to know who you are. They can know what skills you have, what knowledge you have. They can get to know how much experience you have. They can get to know what other people you've helped. They can get to know so much about you. This is not just for businesses. Individuals can so position themselves that businesses will seek them out and want to work with them. This is what I see social media as. I don't hang out with you people. I'm being very intentional. Whether it is me looking to influence and add value to your lives, because that's part of my calling. I must add value to you. That's what the Lord has called me to. Or it is me then letting you know I've done that for other people and you can access it too. I am very intentional. Right now, Ernest, as you know, I don't even show up on social media. My colleagues are on they're on my social media accounts. I'm not on it. But when I post about my husband, guys, that's me, because ain't nobody be talking about my husband. That's me. When I show up and talking about my husband, how nice and cute he is, that's me. But the rest of the stuff, it's my colleagues who post. When we show up, we must show up effectively about doing something, and that's it. So I think we have more power than we realize, and we throw it away by just being nonchalant any which way about life. Let's get clarity. Never leave a vacuum. Don't say people will find out who I am, or when I work with them, they'll get to know. Nobody has time for that. The world is too competitive right now. Show up intentionally. Show up in your strengths right now. Let people get a taste of who you are so that they do want to call you up. Don't just never. If you look at your life and you're scanning your 24 hours and you're scanning your relationships and your pastimes, and you cannot explain why you are part of that thing, what value it's done for you for the 7 years you've been part of it. You just don't want to go because maybe you'll be missed, and maybe somebody will die and they won't come help you. I mean, no, please. Focus.
Yeah. You have been, most of the time when you are talking, you are mentioning the word, what is your purpose?
Yes.
Why are you on planet Earth? Almost every book I've written, usually I open my book with one quotation, which says, you don't need to be Steve Jobs or Oprah Winfrey to inspire people. You are inspirational to others in so many ways because you are God's masterpiece.
Absolutely.
Usually I go with that quotation all the time. In this world, we get confused, or we get caught up with other things, which you have been saying, like, but be distractions, or can it be responsibilities, and we forget ourselves and why we are here. I'm having a job, that is my career, yes, but at the same time, I'm husband. At the same time, I'm a father. So I have responsibilities. These are responsibilities of a father. These are responsibilities of a husband. These are responsibilities for my work.
Yes.
But before I got married, before I have kids, I was maybe a student or working. And then I had other things. Maybe I had back, I had blog, I had other things which identify me as me.
Yes. Yes.
When we get married, when we start careers, sometimes we forget who we are, you as you, our purpose.
Yeah.
So how can you explain? Because when I look your life, at one point, you went up to become advocate of High Court. You have the family, but at the same time, you have so many things which they identify you as you.
Yes.
Not because you are Mrs. Mbuguni. No, there are things which identify you. When you say Modesta, they know Modesta because there are things you have been able to do. And sometimes I like here the people continue to carry your own name, not Baba Benedict. No one calls him Baba Benedict or Mama Benedict or whatever. There is So it keeps you to remember who you are and take your name to the next level.
Yes.
How are you going to help people or advise people to make sure that, yes, there is career, yes, there is business, yes, there is something, but who are you as you?
Yeah.
What will be your legacy as you? Not just because you maybe you were a very good person coming every day to work with all those books, but you as you, kind of that, whether to be in a spiritual world, but also as a normal person, what will go to be able to distinguish those kind of things, no matter whether you are a very rich person, whether you are poor, but you are masterpiece, God's masterpiece, no matter what. How are you going to those?
So good. Such a good question. Thank you so much for that. First thing we all are God's masterpieces. God does not bring anybody here to just waste time, to just, syndikize others, right? To just tag along on other people and their purposes. No. Every single person has a God-sized purpose, a God-sized reason to be here. God doesn't do anything small and significant. Every single person he rolls with becomes great. Every single person created on the earth has the capacity to become absolutely great that no eye has ever seen anywhere, no ear has ever heard. Nothing in all of history has ever come up like them. Every single person, every single human being, God has put that in everyone. Same measure. We all have that. I learned during, when I got married and I had my children back to back and I just had difficult pregnancies, I learned that it doesn't matter that I am somebody's wife or somebody's mother. God didn't stop my purpose. Like the day I got married, didn't say, okay, so now there's the purpose of the couple or the purpose of the family. No, Modesta still has a purpose. Like I was not called off duty because I got married and had kids. So I had to find out how my husband and children then fit into all of that, because I can't abandon them because I have a calling on my life either. Right? Yeah. And this is something we all need to know. Your purpose does not go. Actually, I don't think it even changes just because you get married and have kids. Your purpose does not change. It's not let's not say, oh no, maybe now the purpose is this. No, your purpose is whatever it is that you felt God was calling you to do, whatever you feel that you're strong at doing, whatever you feel like tugs at your hearts and you never even notice time go by, something you're passionate about and you consistently want to get involved in, that thing remains. But it's now to manage yourself. And I keep talking about this. Leveling up for success is so much about managing self. And I already said, I think 99% of people don't get to where they need to go, not because of lack of skills or knowledge, but because of just not managing self. So now that you're an adult now, right? We're adulting now. We've got families, we've got responsibilities, we've got the same 24 hours. Hours were not added to our lives. What do you do? I'm gonna answer from my perspective and then I'll come to a general.
Yes.
So Monday is my day of prayer and fasting. Don't look for me on Monday. I don't answer anybody on Monday. Nobody looks for me on Monday. It's my day of prayer and fasting. I am not available anywhere on the planet on Monday. My calendar is blocked off on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm open to appointments. And I show up and I occasionally, would let them go over into Friday. But Friday is my day to do all of my retainer clients' work. Why? I am 8 hours at least behind most of my clients. To seem ahead as a consultant, I give my clients homework so that I am ahead of them. I give them so much homework that they don't bother me on the weekend. They're busy doing my work, right? Their own work, obviously, but that I've given, so I have gotten back to them. So I use that day as my day of thinking and my day of typing and preparing for the clients. That's my day of uninterrupted thought to deliver. Saturday and Sundays are for my family. Just I used to now and then allow appointments, but now it's for my husband and children, those 2 days. And I've been serving at church, and so Sundays anyway, like half the day is gone because I serve. Daily, you will, and exceptionally, I'll do this now and then when there are conferences that I'm part of, so I can work in the middle of the night, like I can do midnight till 5 a.m. or, I do things like that now and then, because there's a conference, it's not about me, right? It's not just two people arranging a time. It's a larger thing. But you're not going to get me before 9 a.m. my time because I need to situate my children. Lunchtime, I will work between 12 or 1, have lunch between those times so that I can prepare their lunch and have them situated. So like right now I'm sitting here, my children are here, they can hear everything, but we have an understanding. Now it got out of hand. I got to a place where I made my family more understanding, which was unfair to them. I would come up with all kinds of appointments, all kinds of things, and they would, I guess their understanding, they would let it be. But I noticed then, who am I delegating the raising of my children to, right? Who am I delegating the comforting of my husband to? Like this morning, I was joking with my husband, like, you're just leaving me. And then I said in Swahili, I said, unajua nani anafariji mke wako? I was, and he just looked at me. He's like, I'm not worried about that at all. I was like, you just leave the wife at home. Unajua nani anafariji mke wako? And he was laughing. He's like, silly woman. I have no issues with that. But, then I realized there's some things I cannot keep asking them to compromise. So I leave, I'm done, at 5 o'clock, and I have time with them. Occasionally I have this one client, because of her hours, I will meet her at 6 p.m. But that's like an exception. So I do things like that to make sure. Saturdays, for instance, even when it's time for my family, I only leave the room when I want to. So it could be a time I'm praying, I'm with God. It could be a time I'm writing a book. It could be a time I'm just listening, or I'm just worshiping. I use it as my time. On Saturdays, I may or I may not shower, because I may or may not, I may just sit in one place doing my thing. That's my time. If I want to be rough, like when I was back in boarding school and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking and I'm writing, people need this. This is when you get clarity of who you are, what your purpose is. This is when you get clarity. How do I make it work, given the fact that I have a family? When you can make time to think, make time to breathe, make time to choose what you're doing with your day, what you're doing with relationships, what you're doing with your money. That is so key, not to get lost. But how do you do it? I was listening to this book, Essentialism, another book that's also on Modesta, Africa. And this gentleman says, somebody said he was 5 years too late to quit his job because he didn't have a moment to breathe. He was so busy in that company working on the job to realize that he didn't even want to be at the job. He was so busy doing his job, he didn't even take time to think that, wait a second, I don't even want to be here, because he was just busy doing. 5 years later, he said, I don't even like this. I don't want to be here. And things like that can only come with taking time away. And you might feel like it's selfish, but the Modesta that shows up for my husband, for my children, for my church, for my friendships, for my colleagues, the Modesta that shows up is all that better because I take this time. One of the scariest things for me, and I've been spraying this, I think for now, almost 15 years, to God, please do not let me go up and take all these people and I don't know where I'm going. Oh my goodness. To lead people who willingly follow, and you have no clue where you're going and how you're going to get there. But where do you get that clarity? When you can take time away to really think through and deliberately, intentionally chart out where you're going. And as you're going, take time to then check, are we on track? Is this still relevant? Can we adjust? But all of that takes you being still, getting clarity, having the courage to say, this is who I am, this is where I'm going. All of this other stuff, this is extras. I don't really need this in life. And sometimes we are so fearful of what human beings, of what in-laws, of what, I don't know, friends from school, somebody we started out life with, what they will say, or, Mama Mchungaji or whoever else will say, that we're not making even time for God, making time to focus on what we have to do, lest people speak. Listen, you could be the saintest, the greatest, the nicest, and people will still speak. People will speak, people. They'll speak. But at the end of the day, I need to be able to answer to God, my husband, my children, the people God has called me to, the African leaders God has called me to, the team that is willing to work with me and not other people. I need to be able to answer to them. And that is my priority right now in life. And I would recommend to other people, that is how you should pursue getting to know your purpose and getting to order your life in such a way that you're able to achieve your goals. You're able to hold yourself accountable. You're able to see the results. And even where life is giving you feedback, what you're doing is not working, you can recalculate route. But that can't happen when you're just like this, because you're in fear. If I stop, this could happen to me, or these people will think this. It's not going to happen.
One of the things you gave the good example, someone has been working for 5 years and came to realize, man, I'm trapped here.
Yeah.
Maybe I was not here in the first place.
Yeah.
Many people, when they try to go to college, especially in Africa, if we start with, we don't have career advisors. We don't have academic advisors. So you go and study HGL because maybe someone said it, you can be a good lawyer, or you can go, you just got good grades in mathematics, you want to become a mathematician, but you have never even met a person. Or someone will become a teacher, or become something because of your grades, or because everybody was applying and someone, oh, let me fill this one, you go to the university.
Yeah.
So some people, they go to have a profession, but deep down, maybe it's not part of their strength. It's because they started that way. And there are some people, they go to a particular class, they like it, they are good at it, but down the road, they have to change the career. On your case, you were the High Court attorney, but also for many years, you have been executive consultant, coach, doing that. How do you advise someone when he's trying to do a transition, whether from one profession to another, or from the same level to go to higher level, or someone is going to, let's say, okay, I just don't want to continue working. I want to start my business, or expanding my business from Tanzania to operating entire East. How do you advise someone to expand or to change from one field to another, or from one profession complete to another profession?
So good. So good. Before we go into that, let me guess, Blessed Antoinette, I'm trying to get your name right. She's like, and friends, you didn't mention friends. We make dates, whether they're going to be virtual, whether they're going to be in person, whether we're going somewhere, whether we're cooking in, whatever, we make dates. So of course, life will still continue, but it's very purposeful. No, actually, I don't have people dropping by. People you don't drop by on my life. I could be anywhere doing anything. So, but yeah, you still make dates. So this is our time. This is girl time, or it's a retreat or something. But even that is intentional. You're going to then. So for instance, one of the things that I learned to do, and I even did this with my family, I mean, even my own mother, is now that I know I'm married, I don't immediately just say yes. Like I don't say yes and inform my husband, I'm doing this and I'm going there and whatever. So I'm like, hey, okay, yeah, those dates kind of look right, and then, I will check with him. Or if we can get to do things that involve him, then yeah, fine. And so we have people taking care of the kids and we're able to do something. So yeah, that is in as well, but that is also built in intentionally. So whether it's time on calls or it's time retreats, you do that too. All right, so back to a person who now just found themselves, right? They just found themselves in a role. They want to transition, whether they studied what they don't like, or now they want to move to another job or another, or from a job to business, or vice versa. Again, going back to taking that time off to look at where you are. What are my knowledge? What are my skills? what are the attitudes, the personal character that I have. Number one. The other thing is, what is the knowledge? What are the skills? What are the attitudes that is required for this thing that I'm contemplating, right? If you've already narrowed down an area, what growing will I need to do to be able to transition? I believe that anybody can do anything to an extent. Like, I'm not going to be a NASA engineer, like somebody on one of the boards that I serve. I have a NASA engineer on one of the boards that I serve on. I think they're totally cool. Like this organization, I'll call it the Jewel Foundation, is started by these three like amazing engineers, scientific minds. These three African women. Every time I'm around them, I'm like, oh my goodness, I love this environment. Like, their minds are poo. Anyway, so I'm on their board. So I think anybody can do almost anything, right? And it's to find out, not to speak don't talk yourself out of it. Find out what it takes. So what are the knowledge, skills, and attitudes that I have? And literally the way I do things so that I don't overthink it is I write by hand, and whether I will put a bullet, a little, dash, or I just write everything that comes to mind without editing, without thinking of the languaging, edit everything. Everything I know. Everything I know, including cooking, everything I know, including kufuma, which I can knit, just everything I know. So I can crochet. I cannot knit, I crochet. So write that down. What are the skills that I have? What experience have I had? So for instance, one of the things that God has opened up for me is boards. I've served on so many boards, significant, especially nonprofit boards, grant making boards, grant managing boards. And so, that's something else I'll put in. And then you look at what would this other role require? If I were to go into business, what kind of skill set do I need? If I were to change professions, what would I need? And then you list those down. And I'm telling you, many a times you would find there's so many overlapping areas. Sometimes we think unless we go back to school and get the degree of an area, then we cannot, attempt to be engaged in that area. In that case, some of us will be at school for a long time because we don't know everything. We didn't go to school for everything. Now I get certification, certificates for some of the areas that I'm in for people to trust me as a coach, for instance. So I'm certified, and I'm certified in change management, a couple of other things, project management. But there are things you can just look at your current competencies and then compare them to what they're looking for and find that you might already have 60 to 70% of those. And ask yourself, then what would it take for me to get the remaining? Mentorship is probably going to help you with some of the gaps. Maybe another 10% of that gap can be closed through mentorship. Asking somebody if you can get on the job experience. I remember when I was doing I was preparing for the bar, right, to become an advocate. I went and I interned, already a managing director of a group of companies. I interned with a law firm for 6-9 months, and I was holding the principal lawyer's briefcase. I was just a little quiet. Sorry, here's the printing. I was doing that because I needed that in order to get this area. And we can do that as long as you don't take yourself so seriously and you don't take your profession and your degree to be such a marker of your identity. You can transition. You can be fluid through anything. So find out what skills you have, what competence you have, what competence is needed, and where you see that there is a gap. Find out how you can fill that gap. But there's some things, especially with ladies, don't talk yourself out of things. There's some things truly, 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 you can only hone those skills and be able to deliver when you're implementing. Like, how many here have had marital counseling and kitchen parties, whatever? I didn't have one, but I'm sure. There's some things that kitchen party didn't prepare you for. You show up, you're like, what is this in marriage? And you learn how to adjust to each other and get to a certain place, so that there's some things truly you will be able to deliver on the job. So take that leap of faith. But a great preparation is to see what can I do? What does it require? Where do I overlap? Where do I need to fill those gaps, including I YouTube a lot for my learning, including YouTubing, getting into courses, etc. So I would recommend that people find out what it takes, and then start slowly, transition your way into that thing slowly and build up, because when you then get into the specifics is when you will realize. For instance, I once paid for a project management course with the Project Management Institute, and on day 2 I'm like, I am not the one who's supposed to be in this course. And I went to my colleague Lillian Madege, I don't know if you guys know her. I'm like, Lil, you were supposed to be in this course. This thing is killing me. Like I don't want to do this thing. But anyway, I'm project management certified. But at that time, our business needed Lillian to do that course, not me. But I found out the hard way. I found out after I already enlisted for that course. So don't get too caught up about what it is you lack. It is key to know. But then start pivoting towards it. So today, one of my colleagues asked for my CV for something. They want like a speaker profile or something. And I said, all right, so let me prepare a CV. She goes, you don't have a CV? I said, I have 20 CVs. It depends on what they're asking for my CV for, right? Pivot your CV to start addressing that area. So you will find you actually already have those skills and those competencies. Start highlighting those ones for this new role that you want, more than the ones you had been highlighting for what you had currently been doing. We can always pivot. Somebody looked for me and said, how are you doing with business with the pandemic? I said, God is faithful. You're speaking to the queen of pivoting. Pivot, 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 right? If you're not so caught up about my title, I'm known like this, with this degrees, and how will it look like to people if I'm doing this? Pivot and thrive. Pivot. And you can rebrand, completely recreate yourself through pivoting. If you're not so caught up in who you are, and this is what you're known for, this is my profession, and this is, I was a lawyer and an advocate of the high court, and I've done a bunch of things. Guys, tomorrow if you hear me as something else, don't be like, what's up with her? Pivoting. Whatever, but this is what I do. I don't just do anything. There's a calling over my life to be something, to do something, to achieve something over the African continent. And each season requires me to grow and to evolve so that I can best fulfill that. In the season I'm in right now, where I'm taking care of little children, this is how I can show up and deliver. So I write books, I publish books, I'm on YouTube, I speak, I coach, I consult for other people's organizations, etc. And another chapter, it would require me to influence policy. So I will position to go in and influence policy so we can have different, business environments, different education environments. At some point, it might require me to lead somewhere, right? And I will pivot towards that. But all of this pivoting that I am doing is towards fulfilling my purpose with God. But do you know that God never forced anybody to take any specific degree? You could ask him, and he might say, yeah, that would be a great idea, go ahead. But he's not going to be limited by the degree you took or you did not take. We do that to ourselves. So it's up to you to allow yourself to pivot accordingly.
You have raised so many good things, especially on how we can be flexible, and especially like noting down what our skills.
Yes.
The bigger problem are usually because of scholarships. So many people are giving me their resume, CVs to look at, and give them advice.
Yes.
But seeing the problem, people with masters, even some PhD, bachelor, whatever, you can read within 1 minute. If I'm the one who is going to give the decision, either to give you a job, or give you a scholarship, I'm not going to do that.
Yes.
As we said, people are not writing down what they are capable of.
Yes.
And what skill they have and what they can be able to write down.
Yes.
Instead, they are going to write more about for you to feel sorry for them. They are looking for sympathy. I can give you an example. When someone in resume, you start name, gender, date of birth, marital status, number of children. So, social welfare, to look how many children you have. How does that relate for you to go to Harvard? How does being born again Christian is related to go to Stanford?
It's not related. No.
Why should you say I'm born again Christian and you apply the job at TBL? You are putting date of birth and you want to become a manager and you are 25. So why can you be a manager at the age of 25? You are putting yourself to the losing end.
Well,
so
you can. I made manager at TCC at 23, so it's possible. But yeah,
don't put on your resume because someone is
sure.
going to smash you. Why are you this small age? But if you experience, oh, this person is you show up, you are 23 and you deliver.
There you go. Absolutely.
Don't put the thing unrelated. Like, okay,
yes.
So what? You see, like, yeah. So those are the things we need to know how to write down what we are capable of.
Yeah.
Like, there are certain things we take it for granted. We know. I can give an example. Myself, I'm doing YouTube, but the YouTube, I have to find what is the right word and the job description you can put on your resume.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this is the content creator. You have to find what is the better wording of what you are being capable of doing. You are a mother. That is, how are you going to put that as a job description to put how you can be trusted to the children, how you can be able to take care. So it's just how, that's why there are people who are being asking expert. There are people who are their jobs is just to write resume or to get people to write resume for them. So if you want to transfer or to change something, find expert and be able to do that.
So good.
One last question before I give you a chance to ask me a question.
Sure.
I'm talking because I'm African. I'm not picking for Africans because I'm African. I know myself. One of the problems we are having is difficult to say no. When it comes to like friends, can you come to this group? You cannot. People fear to say no. Can we go to hang out? You just like forced, like, so you can end up like being into groups, so many groups, having so many friends, but in the end is a little bit of distraction.
Yeah.
It is the weakness is a cultural weakness. It takes a certain level of being saying, no, I'm not planning to do this one because I want to lock down myself to make sure that I want to accomplish something.
Yes.
How do you help people to reach the stage of having a highest level of that discipline of saying yes and saying no? And there are books like Professor Yuri, when we are doing the conflict resolution, there is a book is the power of saying yes and the power of saying no. The difficulty in the no to say no on something, especially friends, family, your supervisor. How can you talk about a little bit about that?
That is such a good one. So at different levels, first of all, at the mindset and the personal decision-making level, before you even then say anything to somebody else, is again, you guys, do not leave a vacuum. Be clear. What are you about? Who are you and where are you going in life? And therefore, what should be the details of your day, of those 24 hours to help you achieve it? People think, I'm going to set a goal and I'm going to go somewhere, yet their lives daily reflect nothing of that. There is no way I'm at every meeting, every kikao, I'm hanging out with everybody, I'm reviewing, like this thing of people sending me documents, like, hey, send me your email, I want you to review. Bless you. So I'll be like, here's a link to a discovery call with me. That just usually shuts most people down because they don't want to pay for the service. Like somehow I'm supposed to just have time to review things. So it's for you to decide what you are doing with your time. What am I doing today that will help me meet the goal for the month, that will help me meet the goal for the year, that will help me, meet the goal for however long time, so that I can then move from this level up to the next one, until one day I'm telling God, I've glorified you on earth by completing everything you gave me to do here. I submit everything, including my husband, including my children, because they're still also part of my purpose and part of my responsibility on the earth, right? So understand, everything you do daily is what then will be the details of what you're going to achieve. There is no way you will set a certain vision and certain goals and get there unless you are planting the seeds of that harvest in daily decision making. So now you realize my daily decisions are not just a thing I'm doing. Because what happens to people who can't say no is, it's just this time and it's just this time, and then those exceptions become the norm. Then those, it's just that's you now. You're always allowing other people's agenda to come in. And then what you do need to do, because it's mine, I can do it another time. Or because it's my husband, he'll understand. Or it's because my kids, we can do it tomorrow. So everything else moves. And then, you're just giving, elsewhere. So for you to be very clear that everything that I'm doing today is what will determine whether I get there or not. God's calling on my life is true. The prophecies, for those who have had prophecies, are true. The potential that my lecturer, my boss, who said I have potential, all of that potential about you is true. But the only way any of that is ever going to be a reality for you is how you steward every single second of every minute of every hour of every day. So to be aware of that. And then to even weigh. Because I'm one person with 24 hours who can only geographically be one place at a time, even if I am here on this thing virtually, I can't at the same time be speaking to my daughters in the other room. I can't. I have to hold this conversation. My mind has to be here. You can tell when you're speaking to a person on the phone, when they get on the phone or they listen to someone else, all of a sudden the conversation goes funny. You're like, oh, okay, Basi, I guess we'll speak later. Because you're like, this person left. You can tell when a person leaves. So if I'm going to be really intentional and pay attention and get the results that I want in everything I say yes to, I'm going to really think about this. If I'm saying yes to this, what other thing that I am meant to do to take me to where I need to go am I saying no to? Because obviously by saying yes to this, I'm saying no to this. I mean, that's the obvious thing. I can't say yes to two things at any one time. That's impossible. So for everything I'm saying yes to, I'm actually saying no to something else. And then the other thing is, nobody wants to do a shoddy job. I don't know about you guys, but I want to produce good work. So you tell me, just look at this for 2 seconds. I'm not going to look at it for 2 seconds and say, this thing is terrible. No, I'm going to go through the detail. I'm going to do the spelling, the grammar. I'm going to give you my comments on the box, why this can be changed. I am going to invest more than half an hour. I'll probably come out, emerge 3 hours later on your document because I want to do a good job. That is my personal, and those are my principles. Those are my values. I don't just do any old thing. So there goes 3 hours, or not giving margin in between me. So to really be aware, this yes I'm saying, I need to be conscious, because you can change plans, but I need to be conscious. I'm actually saying no to this. Am I okay with saying no to this? I just need to know that. Oh, okay. For every yes of the volunteering, I'm saying no to earning money. Are you aware of that? Oh, okay. All right. God will pay you how God knows. All right. All the best. God will pay you how God knows. But you just said no to earning money because you're doing it for free and you're helping out and the Lord knows how He will repay you. Okay. All the best. So to be conscious of that. It is my daily decisions that determine whether I will get the outcomes I want in life. For every yes I'm saying, I'm actually saying no to something else. And if that no that I'm saying to something else was actually more important, was more of value, that would give me more returns, then I need to learn to say no. Because remember, that person is getting their agenda met with that request. And then of course we're in community. So now and then we will make allowances for each other. My goodness, we're not robots, right? We're not heartless. We're people. We want to be in community. But you need to have boundaries. So I help you out once. You come out a second time, I'll let you know. All right, so this is a paid service. You show up a third time, I may even delete you because you're joking. Because now that's disrespectful. Because the fact that you can bring something to me and I can in a few minutes give you a solution, it means I invested those 10,000 hours to master this thing so I can give you a solution. Many a times, for instance, in when you are good at something, I want to say this to you. When you are good at something, it's so second nature, so natural for you to do that you feel like, but it's just this, to do for somebody else. You feel bad to say no because it just seems so simple to you. But that thing has a monetary value. I would like you to Google what other people are charging for that same thing you're giving, which you're like, oh, it's just a thing that I do. And give it, whether it's a service, a consulting service fee, or if it's a product, what other people are charging. Then you will see what you're giving away. How do you spend your time showing up for practice, singing, and not just singing, but just hanging out or whatever? Because singing, you guys think I'm talking about church. People, I love God, I love church, right? But how do you do that? And then you're like, oh God, just whenever it pleases you, open the windows or the doors or the, I don't know, the gates for me and my family. We need this. And God is watching you every single day. You're doing everything but investing in honing your skills so you can convert it. Your purpose also carries the profit to make from it. Your purpose is supposed to be profitable. I'm actually writing a book, Purpose and Profit. You're supposed to make profit out of your purpose. What God has put you to do, you're meant to monetize it. That's what some people get it wrong. They think I just do a thing here and somehow the Lord will bring money here. No, that's your money maker. That thing that you do naturally, that you're so good at, that people are coming to you for, that's your money maker. So if you're giving away your money maker, expect not to have any. So there are a lot of things that you can consider. And then now the wisdom of saying no, because, you know, you can be modest and just be like, no, I'm not going to do that. I love you. Bye. But that's not always worked for me, right? So you can find wisdom. So for instance, somebody comes in with a request. Today I had a request and I nicely led them to my colleague who will then, she's my gatekeeper. She will then handle to see whether or not that's something, it's even aligned with who we are and what we're doing, whether to do that or not. And she will definitely set me up with a meeting with this gentleman. It's just, I'm not going to have that conversation right now. It is not in my week to get a random call and have a conversation over this thing. But she will then, you know, be able to, and she's amazing at, you know, dealing with people, get us to, you know, to decide whether or not this is something we're pursuing. So to have the wisdom to say, thank you so very much. I am so grateful that you thought of me. And, you know, I don't take it for granted. And truly, it's not a spiel. Huh? Don't just talk at people to, you know, to put them in the, no, like truly, because God has a lot of people, I have come to learn. He has a lot of people on the earth. The fact that you are going to, you know, people will come to you, that's a privilege and honor, and you use it well. But you cannot be slave to people, even if you're called to people. So thank you so much for thinking of me. You know, that's something that I cannot currently do. However, please do let them know when you think you next can, if ever that you'll be able to, right? However, if you check on me in these months or at this date, I should be able to. Or if it's okay with you, so that when we're in a position to move ahead, can you just send me a note? I mean, you can even voice note real quick. And then when we're ready to go, we at least get a feel of what it is that you're looking at, so we're able to move, you know? Or no, I can't, but guess what? I know somebody who I can vouch for them, who can do this even better than me. Like, I know them personally. If you're disappointed with them, come back to me. There is no way on earth, because I truly do know people. And this is where people, you cannot be hoarders. You know somebody who can do something as well as you, or even better. Let people know so they can be served. Don't be like, oh, well, then they'll continue with them. They'll never come back. Yeah, they may not come back, but it's fine. You don't have the bandwidth to do it. Stop hoarding it. Refer them to somebody else who does, right? Move things along. So that way you're nurturing the relationship. You're being genuine. You want to help. You just won't physically give the time for it. And when you start practicing this, after a while, you realize people respect that. Or people keep coming for money. I'm so sorry, I'm not able to do that. Can we check next month this time? Oh no, I need it now. No. I'm so sorry. I wish I could. I mean, I am somebody's wife. I have kids. I have, you know, a team I'm working with. My money is going everywhere. I am tithing. I'm sowing. I have parents. You know, it's going everywhere. I don't need to explain that to you, though. It's none of your business. But if you know me and you trusted me well enough to come to me with this concern, it means then you will assume love. You will assume goodwill and not ill will when I say no. And only those that can respect and stand with your no even deserve being in your life, because we cannot have drama. I can't be surrounded by drama. If you cannot respect my no and know that it's coming from a good place, and if I could, I would, and then I can give you an alternative, and you don't want it, then you want to start something else, and I'm not part of that. Done. All right. Let's go. Let's. Are we reversing this thing?
I was going to ask you to do one thing, because there are some coming here live for the first time. I want for you to explain what are the services you usually offer.
Okay.
I know people do not know ghostwriting, for instance. You can just explain what you do, consultants. How does that work? What do you offer as your expertise?
Sure.
So people know.
Thank you so much. Actually, somebody was really scared when I told them I do ghostwriting. They're like, "What?" Some of us are just too quick in the spirits. I was like, no ghost. I don't meddle with the with the dark things. It's a thing.
Oh,
It's a service. They were really scared. They were like, "You do what?" Right. So where to start? I am Modesta Mahiga from Modesta.Africa. So you guys, I just pinned the books that you can get on my site. You can go to Modesta.Africa and get to know a little bit more about what I do. But I am a human capital expert, and my focus is on Africa. I remember many a times people are like, why don't you just open up to the rest of the world? I can't. I am called. So listen to this. Listen to this. Believe it or not, Africa is going to be the leading economic region in the world. And the thing that God has given me is to prepare the leaders that are going to drive that ascent to an economic superpower. So I focus on equipping mostly senior leaders, like director, CEO level, but I've also worked with mid-management leaders and founders of organizations, for-profit or non-profit, to really level up in the way that they present themselves. So their knowledge, their skills, their attitude, their presentation, the way that they deliver in their organizations, as well. So that's that's at the individual, as well as the organizations that they lead, to be able to deliver well. So at the moment, I do executive leadership coaching. That is supporting executive level leadership on whether it is positioning to become the CEO, or they have challenges with their team and they're wondering what is missing in them that they're not able to deliver, or there's a specific goal that they need to reach by a certain time and they would like to have that sounding board, the support to help them be able to get there efficiently and to leave nobody behind. So I work with executive level leaders. I also offer done for you services. This is absolutely everything for people, whether they have nonprofits or businesses, to be able to show up and be esteemed as the go-to expert, the go-to brand in their field. So from incorporation, board recruitment, board onboarding, strategic planning, partnership development, creating their business plans, their engagement. So for instance, I say that my colleagues are managing my social media and my communication. We can do that as well for you. We can help you, even if you want to prepare to pitch to clients, want to prepare your proposals. Absolutely everything an organization needs to be able to show up professionally and deliver with excellence. This is one of the things that we do as well. I've been YouTubing. My mentor Ernest here has been helping me with that. It's something that's been in my heart for the past. I've written several books on career, business, and leadership. And they're on Amazon. So Modesta Mahiga Mbuguni, when you go to Amazon, you'll see my books. But my heart is really for us as Africans to understand the world is moving fast and they will not change the rules of engagement for us. We either level up to be able to compete at the global scale and, really shine, or we get out of the game. This whole thing, you're talking about sad story. Oh, I have 5 children. So, like imagine that's a salary negotiation pitch. I have 5 children. And so as you can imagine, my bills, ain't nobody want to know. Anybody want to know? You can talk about your skill set. You can talk about your competencies. You can talk about your experience. You can talk about especially your value add to this organization. And quickly that salary negotiation goes up. You can get the amount you want simply by pitching who you are and what you're capable of doing. And many a times people don't realize, like you were saying, with scholarships and with job, people don't realize all that they're capable of doing. I don't know what else people think is important. So I help people really. You will have a conversation with me and I will sound back what you're saying about yourself. I will help you draw out the competencies you have. I'll help you draw out the experience. I'll help you draw out something that you did that you weren't necessarily paid for, that you thought, oh, it's just a thing, and show you how important it is and the languaging to position it. So you were talking about CV, cover letter, bio. I do that as well for executives. I've helped quite a few people get jobs, quite a few people position for boards, quite a few people position for regional positions by really interviewing them and crafting their CVs, their bios, their cover letters, their LinkedIn profile. I also enhance people's LinkedIn profiles so that, somebody comes in, they're like, man, you're a heavyweight. Immediately the conversation people will have with you is going to be elevated. compared to if you just show up, just humbly, whatever. So not to say don't be humble, but please, the opportunity you get, the one opportunity you get to shine, please blind their eyes, whether that's your document or you showing up in person or the way your organization is run, and be ready in and out of season. We think opportunities will come when we're ready and when we've prepped for them. Something can show up right now. Somebody says, right now in 2 minutes, send me your CV. What are you going to send? Somebody can say right now, remember you always wanted to blah, blah, blah. There's somebody on the other line. I'm holding that call. I want to connect you to. You need to be ready. So I also, equip founders, I equip executive leaders to always be ready, to always sound the part. Like you asked me this question, I have sold you guys on the fact that I help leaders become CEOs. That's a big deal. I've sold you guys on the fact that you can start your business and not have much of a direction, and I can make you look global immediately. I've sold the fact that I have books there on Amazon. I mentioned that I YouTube. I mentioned that I speak. There's so many ways that I just sold myself. If any of those, resonate with you, I even pinned my site with the books that you can buy. These books, I didn't write all of them. They're from Amazon, but I get affiliate pay when you buy them from my site. So I am sitting here from that one question of who I am and what I'm capable of doing. I sold you the vision of Africa. I said you're one of those Africans, and I showed you all the ways that you can work with me. And I am confident I'm actually going to get clients from this talk. I didn't even expect this question. And we all need to be ready like this, because the rest of the world delivers exactly like this each time without even blinking. That whole thing, I don't know. You tell me what you've noticed to be my strength. Anybody got time for that? Nobody got time for that. Nobody have time. They will just move on to the next person.
If someone, they want to know that, that's why there is a difference. One of the difference between Westerners and people from developing Africa, culture, Asia, Latin America, we tend to be humble to the end. We lose these opportunities because we don't want to show our capabilities, our greatness.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
raising the truth. That's why I usually give the example in the soccer, just go and write on the YouTube, who is the best player? Ronaldo's answer. He will tell, I'm the best player, and he's giving you the reason why he's the best. But if you ask Messi, you know, because he's from developing country, there are other players. Don't, if you have skills, show them. Is the interviews, is showcase what you're capable of. Absolutely. But you need the coaching of people, like, this is how you answer. You are not going to be too proud, but you go there to the, you are not like, but this is the reality. This is how you go through.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a way to say that. There's a way to shine without sounding like I'm the best. I won, and I have. I have global recognition. I have won awards and all of that. But that's not important at the moment. This is how you speak to people when you want to pitch. Thank you so much, Aggie, for saying about the website. So we do websites too, and my colleague Hallelujah did our website. So people want to know how you can be of help to them. First of all, people want to hear something that will charge them up. People, when you ask me what it is I do, I started talking about, I have a vision. God's, showing me that Africa is going to be like this. So I'm preparing the African. And you're sitting here, you're like, yeah, I'm African, and I'm in the marketplace. That's great. So you sell the vision. You sell the picture of the transformation that you can bring the people. That's number one. Number two, you speak specifically to what you can help them with. When you do those. And the fact that you're saying, and you don't have to say, I help this and this and this, is, I'm involved in this because of this passion, because I want to do this, and I work with these people. That person will start hearing themselves in what you're saying. They will start seeing themselves in what you're saying, and they'll be interested. And you can now and then push in, like, for instance, when I worked with, and you mentioned a firm, people are like, Dad, you got to work with that organization, elevate you. Or there was a year, we were part of this steering committee by virtue of, being on this board. Wow, you served on that board. So those things you can put here and there that gives, that really gives you a robust profile without showing off. I was the first one, and then I did this, and then I won this, and then whatever. Or for instance, when I mentioned earlier, like, I was making hundreds and thousands of dollars, and just I could have learned to steward better. You're like, this is the type of person that can make, $100,000 a year. Do you know what I mean? That then elevates you to, what it is you're able to handle without saying, yeah, so my net worth, So it's things like this that help you when you're communicating. You're not showing off, but there is no way people will dismiss you when you show up in a context. And we need to embrace this. For us, we're like, oh, we shouldn't. Oh no, just glory to God. You can't show up at an interview like, oh, glory to God only, just the Holy Spirit. When he comes upon me, these things come. It's not me. You can't do that at a board meeting, guys. And I'm a born again Christian, tongue speaking and everything. You don't do that. You can pray in your chamber, keep it in your chamber. When you show up here, you need to speak the language of the marketplace, or you're out, as anointed as you are, and you're going to heaven. That's I gotta say. You're welcome. You're so welcome, blessed Antoinette. Is it Antoinette? Antoinette. By the way, so Antoinette is the avatar, is the person that we have in mind at Modesta Africa when we're working. Her name is Antoinette. We have a whole story about her, and the guy's name is Anthony. So it's very interesting. I see your name.
Yeah. So I know we have been here.
We've been here for a while.
Very away from your kids and the other things and the other responsibility. But do you have any question for me? Because
I do. Question number one: why do you give away all your stuff for free? You are reviewing people's sponsorship, whatever scholarship letters you're doing. Why are you doing all that stuff for free?
Okay. Number one, the reason being, when I was coming to America, planning to come to America, at that time there was not much of the social media. So you find someone is in the country, maybe Uzbekistan, or is in Russia, Ukraine. You write, because you have to write on email, or you have to go on Yahoo's chat, and someone doesn't respond. So I was so upset with those people. Now I'm that guy, I'm in America. And someone is writing me email or whatever, and I'm not doing that. So I know, like, the dream of someone can be realized just by my response. So what I've decided to do, at the beginning it was tough with the time and everything, but I find the way. So if someone is asking me a question, I make a video, that means all the questions some people are asking, I don't need to spend, like, again, 15 minutes, 20 minutes to start explaining to you. So that's number one. On the book.
Wait. So let the people know that this is strategy. Okay? So your strategy is, it will take a lot of your time. You will be answering these emails daily. So now that you have this platform, this YouTube platform, which, guys, is free for anybody to start, you can create videos that address those things. You post those videos, which can go to so many other people that might have a similar question. And you are monetizing from your YouTube channel.
Yes. So that's what I do.
Offering a solution, being able to make money from it. Yeah. Great. The books.
On the books, the one on Amazon, I put the price of the printing, but I have online on other platforms for free. The reason being, I have a goal to write 100 books. And I don't want the market to determine my thinking.
Somebody said they'll run to you because they love free lunches. Please go.
For instance, if you listen to Diamond's song, the first one, the second one, he was writing with passion. But now he's writing because of the market. So you can bring Kofi Olomide, pay the money, and it's just mention the names. The song will be hit, but it's not coming like the energy from within. Sometimes after having hit song after hit song, it takes longer. Because the market will force you. Diamond now, you have to sing like Afrobeat, you have to sing hip hop, you have to sing any type of music, because the market is forcing you. So I don't want the market to force me writing, for instance, the books, because the market, they want maybe the stories about a ghost marrying a saint. They don't want. So for me, I'm writing what I want me. So whether the market wants something they doesn't, I'm writing what I want. So I'm in control. I can write about my kids. I can write about the African economy. I can write about the green card. I write what I have the passion with. But down the road, the books now, they'll be into the real market wise. Because if I was planning, because I plan to write 100 books. So maybe after 30, 50, at that time, I'll start like really monetizing them, really advertising them, because I've done a lot. But at this moment, I fear sometimes people will be liking the idea of maybe irrigation. I'm not expert in irrigation, but I will force myself to write a book so that I can get the money. But this one also is not just for free. It's helping me now to build my skills as a writer. I look on the first book I wrote. and the book I wrote, the latest book, my English, the way of writing, the way I put things is in highest level. So it's just like when I'm going to when I'm going to put my bestseller is because of all this investment. So I'm investing is to be a good writer too.
May I give you a proposal? Huh?
Yeah.
All those books you have out there for free, I put a price tag on it. I put my bank account. I make money because you just want to write for free and just get practice, and you want to write from your passion. Write your passion. I will monetize on your passion. Because here's the thing. I'm not writing about other things that people don't want me to write about, because of making money. I'm still writing, what I'm moved to do and monetize it. So I can't wait for when you get to 30 and you start monetizing, because this is also, first of all, people need to, I remember with 32 steps, the book, Career Success and a Life of Significance, I had it for free for a very long time. Somebody was like, "What are you doing that?" I need people to access this resource so they can apply it to get those jobs and to excel in their careers, etc. But after a while, what I've come to realize, and there's several people probably here as well that I've given free services to, people don't really value a thing unless they're able to invest in it. And the other thing is, I'm able to do more, not just for my family, for the kingdom of God, for the reason why I'm here on earth, when I can, generate income. So somebody said cheap is expensive. People won't value it. So yeah, but I do understand. I do understand your heart and where you're coming from with this, and how you want to make a difference. But please do, put it in the mainstream and put a charge to it so that we can really show appreciation.
Thank you.
All right. So my next question is, what are you hoping to? No. I'm not going to ask that one. Wait, I have yet another one. You put these crazy goals, as in targets, like figures, to things you want to achieve.
Yes.
Back to the question about accountability. First of all, how do you choose the target that you want to achieve? Is it just, you just want to challenge yourself, or is there a method to it? Is there a reason to it? And then also, how on earth do you stay on track? Because you do stay on track. You do come back and you let me know. Like every year, you surpass the things. The only time is when you took a pause, I think, to be, because you just had another baby. I think you took a pause when it came to a book.
Yeah.
But absolutely everything for the few years that I've known you, you say to do, you do, and you surpass. How do you choose the goals, and how on earth do you keep yourself accountable to reaching them? Because that, I find that, like, only machines do what you do. How do you do that?
Yeah, so as you said, what is our purpose overall on the planet? As I said, there are responsibilities. Yes, I'm a child of someone, I'm the father, I'm the husband, I have, so there are all other things, but who am I? So that's number one. So I have my schedule is categorizing everything, and then there is a time, even the kids, when I'm going to my office, I don't, on the certain time, I have to accomplish certain things. That's number one. When I put a goal, I don't want to put a goal, I'm going to get a pen. That is not a goal, because it's something I can do. I have to do something. If I tell someone, will say that is impossible. And when you say it's impossible, that is when I have to accomplish it. So, for instance, I came with a goal of 100 books.
Yes.
Because I assumed majority of people will retire at the age of 60, 65, around that time. So I said, if I write 3 books in a year, in 30 years, I'll have 100 books, like 99. So 1 year I can make maybe 4, and 1 year 2, another year 5. So I can have 100 books. So at the age of 65, my job will be traveling around the world just to promote the books to different schools, whatever, all kinds of things. So I have that goal, the number specifically because of the age. At that time, who will I become in terms of how many books and what I'll be doing in the end. But overall, it's just to have the bigger goal where I have to accomplish, that I have to push myself. Because if I have a goal, like I have to write maybe 10 books in the next 50 years, I can do that. Especially with the resources I have and the style of writing, I can sit down, I can put headphone, I can be talking. The entire interview, you can play it and it can type by itself, and that is a book already. These are a very gold mine, what we have been talking here. So that is another thing. So my goals usually, I have to put a goal which is scary. And when you are asking about social media, for me, I use the social media to get people who say it is impossible. I like those people.
Mm-hmm.
When I want to join the US military, I was told you have to lose almost 50 pounds. 50 pounds is 23 kilograms.
Yeah.
And the person, recruiter said that is impossible. My father-in-law said, every person said, no, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
I told them, give me 90 days. And I was able to do within 75 days because I was able to work out 2 hours in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, 2 hours in the evening.
Wow.
For 75 days straight. I was able to lose 1 pound per day, which is almost a half
Oh my goodness.
So it was a very severe. So for me, that is my level. When something is there, it is supposed to be impossible. That's what I enjoy. And if I don't have those crazy goals in my head, I came to realize myself, I get depressed. So I needed to, my brain needs to have, like, have goals for the family, have the goals for work, goals for my, the bigger one, like, I have to be active, kind of that.
But I love, you see, and I think this is the secret. I love the fact that there is method to this madness. It's not some guy just going frantic and coming up with goals. You start with your purpose. This is who I am. I want to leave a legacy. And you've even gone to the level, the realistic level of saying, I am charting out the days of my life, the seasons of my life. So in this season, I'd like to accomplish this, so that in that season, you've gone further ahead than my 1 year goal, my 5 year goal. You're actually looking at your whole life, its entirety, and you're saying, should God give me breath? This is what I would like to do now. This is what I'm going to do next, and why. So your why, apart from the fact that you also, you know, like get pumped from stretch goals, your why is anchoring your decision making. You're not just a guy who just wants, you know, it's like a guy who wants to bench press how much just for the sake of it. No, those goals, like you said, 3 a year, give or take, sometimes 4, sometimes 5 in the next 30 years. You know exactly why you want to do that.
Exactly.
So it is anchored to something. It's not just you woke up and what did you say, had 2 Guinnesses and then you decide you want to do something. Exactly. Nice. And then now, I know you said it's important for me to have my own thing, apart from the fact that I'm somebody's son and I've got, you know, I'm somebody's husband and I've got children, and you showed us a big picture of why you're doing what you're doing, and how then you come up with the numbers. I'd like to now know, I am thinking particularly with the YouTube, you have mentioned the number of videos that you want to create. Guys, creating videos is not a small thing. The number of subscribers that you're going for, right? You even mentioned the amount that you want to earn monthly to me, and how in 5 years time, what you wanted to get to and what that amount will go towards. And I mean, you have really charted out your life. How do you stick to that?
Let me start. Number one, I did a very big mistake about YouTube. I opened my YouTube after the day after my birthday. It was September 24th in 2010. But I didn't know about YouTube. I was more a blogger, just posting things, whatever. I've been doing that since before YouTube started. So for YouTube, I was posting 1 video per year in October. The Green Card Lottery. So from 2010 to 2018, my channel had just 8 videos. Wow. I didn't know about YouTube. Then 2018, I made like 4 or 5 videos extra because I was traveling, I was bored. I made some few videos. Then from there, I ended up in 2019, I made a few videos. So up from 2010 to 2019, I had less than 20 videos all. So one day I made a video about in October 2019, I made a video about Green Card Lottery, and it started doing well. And I started like learning and say, this thing is people are doing. Why like Mike Tyson has a YouTube channel? Why Will Smith has YouTube? There is something. Why these superstars they have that? So I started learning about the YouTube. So people, you can make money, real money. So I started looking about analytics, everything. Yeah,
you're big with that. You're always giving me mine. I'm like,
I've been using so much energy to explain to people, answering through emails, whatever. Sometimes in WhatsApp you type whatever. but I can convert everything I've been advising people into a video format.
Yes.
So that's they say, okay, I can do that. So I look like, what is the goal? Is I myself, what is the goal I can be able to accomplish and push me to the maximum? So I'm fighting on YouTube. How is it possible to make 30 videos in a month? People say it is possible, but if you are not a news channel, it's very difficult. I look like what other goals like people are doing. Like people are making like 300 videos per year. That is a very tough one. So I said, is it possible to make 1,000 videos in a year? Remember, in a year I was making 1 video to 2 videos. I said, I came with a goal, I want to make 1,000 videos. My goal is, even if I don't make this, like make 100, that is still achievable. The year later, I came to count, I had 800 videos.
So insane, you're amazing.
What I did was to make it the possible way. First of all, I had to find like the background, this is a fake background. I have to find a way where if I use my phone or my whatever, I can make a video and I don't need to do any editing. And number one,
all right, continue speaking. I'm going to take notes. That's a good one.
I talk on the things which I'm very confident about, which I don't need to go and first of all to do a research about because I know them.
Yeah.
If I talk about how I got a scholarship, I don't need to open any book because this is how I got a scholarship. Nice. If I talk how I met my wife, why should I give my child Benedict Fulbright, where the word Fulbright came from? I don't need to go any place. That's first. There are those kind of videos. So I divided videos. The one which is the personal experiences, and there are those I have to go and read maybe a law or a policy and explain. So I divided my videos into different categories.
Wow.
So I first of all I changed from Swahili videos to English videos because it happened. Most of the Tanzanians, they didn't like the kind of nice videos. You have to have whatever this crazy video, but mine was specific education. So when it turned to English, that means it turned to be in Africa is one among the biggest channel. So, but now I started like the Swahili one. So I have the English channel and the Swahili one. So now the goal is for this year. The goal is I have to produce 30 videos for English and 50 to 60 videos for Swahili. The Swahili videos.
Wow.
The Swahili one are easy because most of the content are already done in English.
Nice.
Yeah, so I just feed now in Swahili because there are so many people in Tanzania, they don't speak English like how we speak this way. But there is no channel which is talking about resume. There is no channel which is talking about this is how you appear in the interview. There is no channel about scholarships for the parents to know.
Yes.
So if the same quantity, the quality of content in Swahili. Now I started the Swahili one. So for instance, in Swahili one, the goal is 30 to 50 videos in a month. The month of February, I've already produced over 75 videos just for the past 20 days.
Oh my goodness. Isn't this guy amazing? Is anybody, I mean, I'm not saying you should aspire for this, but just the fact, the intentionality and the intensity, of what he's doing.
So while I'm
just continue. I want to ask you something.
At the same time, I know this is going to create a benchmark. Because we don't have many people, especially in East Africa, YouTubers or Africa in general. Most of the YouTubers are talking about comedy and other like entertainment, sports, and celebrities. But we need to have this type of content. That's why I inspire people like your channel. I want to have people to see many people's channel, which they talk the real issues of Africa. That someone can use as a blueprint. I want to become a manager. This is this. I want to be this step. This is the YouTube. Not just, yes, you can have a video about immigration officer, American white guy, talking about the visa interview. But that American person has never been to the US Embassy. For me, I've been to the US Embassy. I know how terrifying that building is. So for me, my experience will have the connection with some Africa than a white American who is a immigration lawyer. So I know the power of relating with someone of the similar background.
So good.
So for the long time, I know this will be, I mean, I'm looking for now for 5 years. I want to quit my job, any type of job, and focus full-time on YouTube. This is not full-time. To make 30 videos in a month, that is not full-time.
Oh my
it will be make 10 videos a day. That will be a full-time for me.
Wow. You know what I picked up? And I think I had it down here. If you're not going to be the expert, right? I said to other people, then follow a plan and a proven method that others use. you have a plan and a proven method. So saying I have enough experience to work with, that is one thing. Saying the fact that you're going to lower the bar to start, right? So you're going to have a backdrop. You're going to see what you do using maybe your phone, how you can use the clicker to make different videos. One of the ways that you're able to stick to your goals is you make what you're aspiring for to be within your competencies. Even if it's a stretch, it's still within your ability. Then you're also reducing the barriers to you succeeding. You're able to make it as simple and easy as possible for you to succeed. I'm picking that up.
If to add on that, one of the things that I do, so with the knowledge I've been using for the YouTube, I get upset to see many people in the college and they are looking for jobs, but they have so much skills. You have degree in teaching foreign language, you have degree in journalism, but you are looking for jobs. But YouTube is a big job. I don't know to usually don't want to say big numbers, but now for me, just for my YouTube, which is, I mean, I'm not even 2% of what my goal is of YouTube. To get paid $500 per month, that is normal. But that's why. But I want to transfer this skill to others. For instance, I have to purchase books of others. Like you see, I have to read books.
Yeah.
But these books are designed sometimes not for context of Africa. So I'm creating on new book, which is my YouTube blueprint. How I plan to raise the goal. So and this book will be like a blueprint for others to see how you can be able to start. Like like these are the things you can be able to do. In Africa, we have so much content than in America, but people do not know how to get the content in Africa.
Yeah. I wanted people asking about your YouTube channel. I'm trying to write it here.
Yeah, so it's EBM Scholars. If you got on YouTube and write EBM Scholar, that is the English channel, and EBM Swahili, that is the Swahili channel.
Nice.
So youtube.com/EBM Scholars, that is the English channel, and the youtube.com/EBM Swahili is for Swahili YouTubes. I mean,
okay, so you've written that as well. Okay, nice. Okay. So good. Now on this topic of leveling up, right? I know it's like 3 o'clock. We've been on for 2 hours, but this topic of leveling up for success, what do you feel since you came to this country, right, from Tanzania? If you were to list 1 to 3 things that have led to you consistently growing and consistently leveling up, because you're not the Ernest that arrived, what would you say? Okay, maybe up to 5 would be the things that you have consistently either thought or applied that keep giving you results. Because to me, you're one of the most goal-oriented and effective people that I personally know. I follow a lot of people, but I personally know, I would list you as one of them. What would you say are the 5 things that you stood on that lead you to continue growing and seeing success?
So personally, yes, there is a family background, DNA, I don't know, being raised in a nice way, having good, I'm number 11 out of 13. So I have a very all people having PhD at our house, that is normal, all those kind of things.
Yes.
But for me, number 1 was the decision I made that I'll come to America, I'll live in America, I'll get married to America, I will die in America. And that is it. I did while I was in the 5th grade.
Oh, wow.
And to have that consistency that no matter what, I have to do that. And the day I arrived in America, the first day, I said, God said, go on earth, multiply, fulfill the world.
Yeah.
I don't need to confine myself in one place that I have to help only Tanzanians. I came here not to wash dishes until I died.
Yeah.
So I came here to reach at the highest peak Possible one day I'll be a governor. I don't know yet. But mindset, like I have to keep going up. That is number one for me, the key.
Wow.
So whatever I do, like I have to avoid any crime. Whatever I do, it has to go towards in building myself. Even if I'm not going to be, there is nothing wrong. Like even if I'm going to become maybe speaker, governor, whatever, but I'll be a presenting human being with so much things I've been able to build it for my family, and so many people they know me to be able to help them to reach on the good things. So that has been number one for me.
Wow.
Number two, for me, obviously, it has been being able, like we have been talking, like having people who you can confide with, asking, okay, I want to work on this one. Like sometimes when I have idea, I usually run to you, I run to my wife, so I have people get their feedback. Sometimes I don't agree with certain advices, but I have to go down deeper and take that advice and find a way to work on those kind of advice. So being surrounded with the people I can trust and I can accept their advices, because I know the people, when I come to ask you advice, I know you're not going to advise me in a wrong way. You give me advice on how it can be in a good intention to go on how to be able to succeed in a better way. Nice. So that is another thing on having people in that way.
Yeah.
We don't take for granted, like being with people who are religious, who can be able to challenge you in a spiritual way, to have a guidance like there is God. No matter what you do, the final destination, you have to go to God. And I'm going to be answerable to God for whatever action I'm going to do. Whether the action will be in America or in Tanzania, whether it's in Uganda, whatever, I'm going to be answerable. Not as a group, just me and me. Was I being able to do what I'm supposed to do on this planet? Was I able to fulfill what I'm supposed to do? As a parent, am I going to be able to lead my kids to be a better people? My wife can be a saint, whatever, like what are those kind of able to help in one way or another. Another thing, obviously, which is going to keep going, we usually know for sure we are not going to live forever. So we have a limited life. So for me, yes, we know we are supposed to stop most of people to retire at the age of 65 or 70, whatever it is. But for me, I'm giving the goal I need within 5, maximum 8 years to complete not doing any person's job and continue to build my empire myself. Nice. Something which I can be able to transfer to my kids. Nice. The difference between employment and your personal business, if I die today, tomorrow they're going to add a new director in my program. But today, EBM scholars will continue to be there. If I company, the company will continue to be there. Mengi passed away, the company is still there. Is still Mengi is the CEO, but the CEO of Safaricom died today. Tomorrow they announce the new CEO. Company is CEO. So you can be replaced by any time. So having that mindset, I know I have limited time. I have to figure out everything quicker and sooner to be able to accomplish everything. So those are the few guidance for me. Which
that's awesome. I'm writing these things down. I need them on here, because when people come to watch this again, they're going to see this. Wow.
Sorry about that. I have to get Faust.
No, you're good. You're good. And I think, hey, Faustina. Hi, Mama. How are you, Princessa?
Yeah, she just
smiling. Did she just wake up?
Yeah, and Marie's going to get Claire and Benedict from school.
That's fine, no problem at all. But this is powerful, because there's always a question: how do we have the same 24 hours? And sometimes we come from the same families as siblings, or we come from the same context as neighbors. Yet some people seem to excel and other people don't, and we wonder, are they more lucky? What is their story? But what I'm hearing from you is, first of all, like I said before, the clarity piece, and then you're very intentional. So Ernest, you constantly zoom out and you zoom in.
you look at the wider picture of life, and then you come into what will be the details, you know, to make that happen. That is what I'm picking up from you. But anybody looking out will just see a driven person accomplishing things. Today you have shared the reason behind, you know, what are the values, what are the principles, what are the considerations that anchor you, you know, to make the decisions that you choose to make. Any last thing that you would like to share with us before we go? What I love about this is we can keep, I'm going to download this so we can share it, repurpose it, but people can also come to watch the live thereafter.
Exactly.
What would you like to share before we go? Hey, Faustina. Hey, Princess. Yeah, I love your smile.
Yeah. For me, overall, what I want to explain to people, I'm going to insist on the social media. It's okay to follow celebrities. It's okay, no problem. But also try to follow people who can add value also on you. Yes, I can follow Alikiba on Instagram, but how many people have followed you? Put in the video how you can change from moving from maybe from legal profession to what you are doing now, how you can put your schedule to become better person. You see, there are maybe if you get even 100 likes, sometimes you get thankful. Or 1,000 views is just very, very scary. Like, oh, why? 1,000 views. And someone is posting, Mama Dangote is having, is pregnant today. 100,000 views. It as a nation. And you see the people who are following those are college people. That is scary as a nation where we are going. So if you're in college, there are a few things. Number one, yes, follow those people, but follow the pages which offer opportunities. Yeah. We give free books, we give free tutorials, all these kind of things. You have to pay a lot to get someone. So follow these kind of pages to get those kind of things. Yeah. And if you were in college, if you were in high school, start finding a way to volunteer, to do internships. Ask people, come to my DM, how did you go to America? I can share simple tips. Yeah. How did you be able to write a book? Yeah. Because these are the things. Ngoswe Kipenzi Kitovu cha Uzembe, Edwin Semzaba wrote the book while he was in Form 2. But somehow now, you just spend all the time on Instagram, all the time on WhatsApp groups. Write a book. So that is something you can be able to do. So let's use the social media also on our own advantage to find ways on how add value and how we can monetize and get money. Absolutely. So those are the few things I want to share with people. On your phone book, if you scroll down and you have interview right now, you want to call someone, on your phone book, you have 5 people can ask you a quick question. I love that. Or you just that one, just gossipy stories. I love that one. So those are the few things I want to share people, like have people around you on your phone book, on your groups. There are so many groups about reading books. There are groups about jobs. There are groups about scholarships. There are value. Let's follow on those kind of areas. You can be able to add something on your life, because otherwise, social media, we see the end product that we don't see. We say before and after. I showed the photo 20 years ago. I was just eating garden in Migebuka in Kigoma, and years later, I'm having good life this way. But you don't see the struggle in between. So let's get caught by social media just by the end result. Let's find how the person went through the tunnel to succeed. So good. So good. I really pray that people are listening to this, that we're spectators of other people in their lives, and sometimes those lives are even cooked. You're not really seeing the real thing. Instead of investing to create your own, or then if you are going to follow, then learn what it takes. Because sometimes people are just taking snapshots or parts in life, and you're not learning the process. And this is why many young people get jaded, and they'll start all kinds of crazy illegal things because they want that life. And you know, you're looking at somebody who's had to invest a lot. This is why sometimes you find that most of the world's wealthiest are much older. Why? You know, very few are really young, because there's a process to that they had to go through. And to value the fact that there will be a sacrifice, and it takes a lot of discipline and asking for help
for you to level up, you know, and to see success. Thank you so much. Ernest, this is the longest live we've had, but this has been a fruitful one, and I really pray that we can repurpose this and use it in different contexts. This has been solid. Thank you for your time. Thank you for interviewing me and my long-winded answers. And I pray we can do more of this. But next time we can do it in Swahili even.
Yes.
You know, on your channel. I would love that. Yeah, we can grab another topic or the same and do it in Swa. I think that would be of value as well. Faustina, thank you so much for coming as our guest, Princessa. Faustina. Faustina.
Yeah.
Faustina. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining Baba.
It has been very, very good. Thank you, first of all, for all this, like 2.5 hours almost. That.
Certainly.
It's been very, very huge. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
One thing is just like a reminder to people, don't be a block to someone else's success. You want to succeed, the secret of succeeding is not for you to block someone else to succeed.
Yeah.
God, I want to succeed and pray for God, to God, another person to be able to succeed.
Yes.
But if you pray for God, I want to succeed, but at the same time, Modesta should not succeed, you are confusing God.
Yes. I like that, right? Decide, because the only way he opens things up is when you have a heart of generosity, and there is enough. I remember when I went to the job that I got at TCC, we had a very interesting human being that was leading us. She was from Europe, and I didn't understand why she had fired the lady who was leaving, and I was taking her role. It wasn't really understood. But later, because she did the same to the rest of us, we then understood there was just something wrong with her. But the lady, before she left, she said, you know what? So I think our boss found her to be a threat, because she's really like, after that, immediately she was HR director somewhere else, and she was a manager before under this lady, and for a very significant multinational. So I think she found her to be a threat. But that lady said, there is enough room at the top for everybody. I will never forget that sentence. Like, the top does not go like this, and so only one person can make it to that. No, the top is like this.
Exactly.
Right? So all of us can line up here at the top and shine in our own right. And that's something really key for us to remember. All right. Thank you so much, Ernest. Thank you. So it's EBM for people who are asking. Let them know your website. If you have a site, let them know your YouTube channels and where they can get your books, because people are asking about your books.
The website is ebmscholarships.com. ebmscholarships.com.
Yeah.
That is the website.
Perfect. And they can probably get details for the books and everything there as well. Nice.
Yes.
Thank you, my brother. Have an amazing afternoon. Thank you, Faustina. Bye, Princessa. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
So wonderful. Bye. Thank you for this. Thank you, my brothers, so much.